tell, we were making fun of you before this. I can't tell if your get up is Southwest or if it's like 90s boy band. Either way, you look good, man.
Oh, thank you. I purchased it at a mall because I was very cold.
Yeah.
So it was there. I got it.
Tucson is renowned for being cold, so I totally get what you're talking about. Eric and me up here in Wisconsin and Illinois, yeah, we feel really bad for you, Jordan.
You should.
And also, Eric Hill, the big guy here, the owner rider for Project Echelon, and basically the head of the Echelon Racing League. Is that right? Co-head?
Yeah. You can call me the co-founder of it with my counterpart Frank Cundiff. So second time on the show, happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
To dig into some nitty gritty today.
Yeah, I feel like you're also like the chief promotion officer for RGT.
Dude, I'm just whatever you tell me to be. Like I've got my hands in so many things right now. It's insane.
Yeah, but that's what I hear.
It's good and it's good. It's exciting. We're making some really good movement in a lot of places.
Yeah.
I think Eric, our first guest that has been asked on a second date. I think so, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
we're pretty discerning. So congrats.
It's got to be my looks.
Yeah, it is. Maybe we'll even let you lean in for a kiss this time. Or is that too much? It's getting weird. Let's talk about virtual racing. This is getting weird. It's a Jordan's shirt. It's his whole get up. It's making me feel weird. All right, so let's catch up. Well, first of all, it's been forever since we did a show. I've been just incredibly busy for work. Every once in a while I text Jordan, I'm like, you want to do a show this week? And he's like, yeah, dude, let's do it. And then I ghost him for the week. So it is my fault. I want to be really clear. Jordan, what have you been up to, man? What have you been doing?
Oh, I only moved like 2,000 miles south, packed up my life, put it all in a U-Haul, and ditched Canada for the time being, and moved into this Tucson house. It's our first time buying furniture and stuff because our last place came furnished. So that has been a thing. It's been building stuff and breaking my back in all the wrong ways. But I've also gotten a brand new bike and new kit and new trainer from the guy on the left there. So yeah, it's been good. And it hasn't rained in a month.
So you can't, I got a new bike and a new trainer. What kind of bike did you get? What kind of train? This isn't that kind of show where you just say stuff like that.
Funny you should ask. It's an Argon 18 Gallium. And the clothing is Jackery, which is very nice. Any clothing right now is good. Supply chain, I just feel very spoiled to get this stuff because all my non-professional cycling buddies are like, how do you, I can't even find a bike to buy. So I just got everything new. Anaceris is an H3, Eric. Is that the model we're up to now?
It's an H3, but the H4 comes out in a month.
Ooh, really? And, look at this. We're dropping knowledge on the show.
There you go.
H4 comes out in a month. It's a very sexy looking machine. We'll be one of the first teams to have it.
Nice. Are you hooked up with them being in Wisconsin?
We are. Yeah. Actually, I was at the Packer game with them against the Seahawks last week.
The who? Sorry?
Seahawks.
Yes.
Yeah. You're a Seahawks fan. It's a tough year for you.
It's terrible.
I can only say that I don't like the Packers. I'm not going to say my team because we just don't talk about them down here in Illinois. So
Bears all day.
Bears for about 7 or 8 minutes, and then the game's done for them.
Yep. Yeah. So no, SARS has been a wonderful partner, and they continue to do some really cool stuff. So maybe I'll have to come on again and give you a little insight on the new machine, and then we're also going to be getting some MP1 platforms for the team as well.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
We'll do a review on the new H4 with the MP1 platform. Pretty
fancy. Cool. Yeah, you. If one of the SARS guys wants to come on too, I know one of the SARS guys went on Kevin's podcast. What? Nowhere Fast? Yeah, which is amazing. I love that podcast.
Now we're just giving out free ads to the other people.
Yeah, well, why not? There's room for
You don't even need to finish this episode. Just go check out the podcast.
Here's the thing: is if I figure if you're a hardcore enough virtual cycling fan to tune in to No Breakaways and to watch this stuff, you're probably consuming all the content. Like that's what I do. I consume all the content. Like this show is not for like the Zwifting or RGT once a week crowd. This is for the 5-6 times you don't go out in the summer sort of thing. Although you two are professional cyclists, so you probably actually ride on the roads. I see Jordan does.
Yeah.
Fair amount, yeah.
And I just started suffering on the trainer again last week, and it's been rough, but we're getting there. Like I got to get back sitting in my basement, rocking out to music and just grinding.
Man, just never get off, and then you don't have to get used to it. It's easy.
No, not my cup of tea. No, thank you. I appreciate indoor cycling and what it brings to me, especially living in Wisconsin. But I gotta have that balance.
Yeah.
There's no way I can do that.
So I'm excited to hear what you guys think of the rocker plate. So I built myself a rocker plate, and I couldn't. It felt good on like easy rides, but I couldn't deal. I couldn't deal on like going hard and sprinting. I could not.
I think it's considerably more complicated than once thought to get that motion right? Because it's counter to what you naturally do, but the Ceres ones are pretty advanced. So yeah,
I had one actually for 4 weeks. I got to be a tester of it, and it's changed a little bit since I've originally had it. There's a little bit more resistance. It was too fluid before. The bike moved a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was actually on long rides, I would cramp because, I'm very stable on the bike, but the bike would just rock just enough that it'd cause some, me to fire different muscle groups that a long, steady ride. So I'd be 3 hours in. Is why.
Yeah, so we're getting to the reason you cramp, and I never cramped on it. I don't ever ride 3 hours.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, Rick. I was like, Rick's thinking, why would you ever do 3? Is there a race at 3 hours? No.
I know.
No. I just saw a guy did 100 miles without a saddle, standing up on rollers.
Oh my God. I have a note to bring that up. Oh my God. Why? And he does it outside too. And people are like, no, I don't believe that you did it. So he did it again. I was like, who questions this? If you're crazy enough to even claim that. Ugh. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. These aren't the type of things that I do. I ride for an hour, sometimes more. I jumped in the KISS 100K, Jordan, on Sunday.
Did you finish it?
Stopped after an hour.
I know the questions to ask.
yeah, I know. I knew it. So I want to start racing every Saturday and Sunday. As a lead in. It's a lead into the Echelon stuff.
I'm excited about it.
But which we'll get to. We'll talk Echelon. We always take the first 30 or 40 minutes of the show and just go off script. So yeah, no, I tried racing both days, and I have not been training well with my new job and everything. Like, and it's on me. It's not the job. I can super flexible, but also you get busy. But yeah, it was tough. The KISS 100K, I was like, no, I'm not gonna make this.
Yeah, it's long.
Speaking of long rides, though, I heard Jackie and her husband finished Take That Hill. She texted me.
Did.
She texted me after it.
They're the only 2 people out of 58 starters to finish that thing. 58 starters in the virtual space. There's a number of other people that did it in the in real life space. And it was a super successful event. We raised over $50,000.
Really?
In disabled students. Yeah.
So I know exactly what you're talking about, but for all the listeners that don't, what is Take That Hill?
Yeah. Okay. So Take That Hill is a collaboration between Project Echelon, an organization called Purple Heart Homes that builds accessible housing for disabled veterans and homeless veterans. And we set up a hill climb challenge at North Carolina called Barrett Mountain, and they had to go up this thing, I think 18 times to climb 10,000 feet being significant because that's the average height of the mountain range in Afghanistan. So that's where a number of our current veterans. And so they just rode up and down this thing almost like an Everesting challenge to reach 10,000 feet. We did the exact same route, but in the virtual space using RG, so that people anywhere in the world could participate. And then the people that finished got some prizes from Purple Heart Homes and from our partners at Hyper Ice. And I bet Jackie and John were the only two people to finish, and it was absolutely excruciating to do. But you can check it out. It's on YouTube. We did a live broadcast. Brad Soner, put it together, and it was really cool because we had split screens where we had an ATV following the people in real life going up the mountain, side by side with the people on RGT going up the mountain. And so you could see them going back and forth. And the people in real life actually had a faster KOM time.
Really?
Virtual world. So
I think that's what about that. I'll have to give her a hard time.
Yeah.
It's just, we would have had to give Will Harden a really hard time from Project Echelon if he was getting beat. But I think it just also goes to show how realistic the RGT platform is. It's physics, right? Like,
sure.
You didn't get a benefit because of virtual riding.
Yeah, I was gonna do it, and I don't know if I would have finished it. I'd probably still be going right now. It wasn't over an hour, so
it was over an hour.
Out of my wheelhouse. But like, I was gonna do it, and Jackie texted me afterwards. She's like, "Rick," because I ended up. I think my son had a soccer game or something, which kid stuff just trumps everything anymore. But like, she was like, I laid on the ground for like an hour afterwards, just cramped up. She said it was hard. She said it was really hard. So, yeah. Kudos to you. Put on a hard event. That's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of hard events, World's Qualifier Zwift.
Yes, thank
We're
you.
gonna get on this agenda.
Yeah.
Right?
Jordan wrote the agenda. He wants on it. So let's talk about World Qualifiers. And I mean, this has to be a Project Echelon topic as well, though. I feel like, even though it's on Zwift. And so my first question, the question I kept forgetting to text you, Jordan, are you going to try to qualify for Worlds, or are you in Worlds already?
Yeah, so this is for additional spots, right? The national teams will already have their spots. So number 1A on that course is I don't really think I would qualify because it's a hard course. It's the Knickerbocker route, which is challenging, but I don't really think that I would come top 5 out of God knows how many people will be there, right? It's an open field. Like, based on the qualification standards, like, you just have to be an A category rider or have done a Premier League, in which case you can do this qualifier. I think there could be 1,000 riders.
There's going to be a lot.
Yeah. So, no, I'm not going to do it. Basically, I'm not in race shape at this point either, but I think I'll have a spot with Team Canada, unless I've really rubbed them the wrong way since last. But,
I mean, this show. I mean, people see you now. They know you're a fashion icon, so that should help.
I mean, look at me, right? Look at me. It is a visual medium, isn't it? Anyway, no, it'll be great. I think I'm gonna watch because I don't think we'll ever have seen a Zwift race quite like this. It'll be the best and the brightest, but also everyone else. And what does a pack of 1,000 do on Zwift physics? Like, who knows?
See, and that's the thing, is you said it, Zwift physics. I think there's a lot of really good people that are going to get screwed because of it, because it doesn't benefit. It doesn't benefit tactics. It benefits the person that can hide the best and play the game, because it is a game. It's not a race.
It is a game, and it's going to be a different game than ever before. Even the Premier League riders, the guys that race 6 times a week, I don't think they'll ever have done something like this. That is a factor, though, that I have a little bit of an issue is, what if Ceres has like 11 guys in the North American continent race and they have a tactical advantage over everybody else? Does that mean the best rider qualifies? Like, not really.
The thing is, so the thing is about Zwift, like, we pretend there are team tactics, like, for real. I really don't. Like, people are like, oh, I'm blocking. No, I'll just ride through your butt. Like, Which, it's again, like, it's all part of the game. Like, I am very good at drafting and hiding and everything. But like, I just don't feel like the only tactical advantage I feel like you could get is if you ended up in a pack top 20 and you had 10 guys in that 20 and you sent 2 people off the front and just refused to chase, made everybody else chase and sent 2, but like, I just don't see.
It's a thing, but with this, it'll be totally weird because of the huge pack blob thing. It'll be interesting. I guess the idea is, in theory, is to find like a diamond in the rough, somebody that can compete at the World Tour or World Champs record, or level rather, out of the Zwiftosphere. We'll see if that happens. That'll be interesting, right? We'll have these riders, and they'll be highlighted in the lead up. The riders that qualified versus were selected, and we'll see how they do. Like, there's some Canadian riders that didn't make the team, like a Warren Muir last time, that are very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be a positive addition. Anyway, I'd love to have one of those guys on the Canadian team actually to key off of. So.
My thinking is, though, why didn't they take a note from and learn from like what the Movistar Challenge and how that was structured?
Right.
Like, they didn't have to have 1,000 people start. They could have given everybody the opportunity still, but narrowed it down a little bit, you know, so that it was a manageable field.
And I think that's the real thing about this, is it's really not about finding the diamond in the rough. This is just a publicity thing for Zwift to get it.
Which is
because there's qualifiers for the qualifier, right? And so it's every
dude. The qualifiers, I saw one. Our buddy Karsten, he won one of them. There was 7. There was only 7 people in it. I was like, what? I mean, Karsten's a really good rider, but like, what the hell is going on? Why is there 7? Like,
you just have to do them. You don't have to win them. So it's like a participation, which is what Zwift's all about, is having people on the platform.
Here's what I didn't understand. It's like, to your point, Eric, with the movie searching. Why don't it again? I beat this dead horse, but like, I don't know why Zwift even did anything with any of the national federations or UCI. Why didn't Zwift just have national championships and the top 5 from every nation or whatever go?
Because they can't. They can't legally host national championships. It has to go through a national governing body if you're going to call it a national championship. So they could call it something else, but it cannot technically be a national championship without the stamp of approval from a national government.
But they did it before,
and they got their.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. Well, and even the jerseys, Rick, like, we talked, why isn't there Canadian national champion jersey on Zwift anymore? Because Canada owns that jersey, and so does the UCI in a sense. So yeah, it's difficult territory. It's going to be interesting. And also, now that they've let the UCI into their house, it's like a feral cat that's not going to leave. So now that they're in bed with the UCI, this is going to be kind of a, that's an organization that's going to really pull teeth. As every page race in North America knows. Yeah. So,
I mean, if I was just a virtual platform, I mean, I would have done like gravel cycling. It's just like, no, we're not going to associate. We're going to do our own, or like, World of Warcraft or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the UCI's now got their gravel world champs too, right? It's a weird thing. Like, you could spend an hour, you could spend more than an hour just talking about how the UCI sinks its teeth into everything. And they have a monopoly on the world championships, right? So.
This is a little bit the other way around, though, because Zwift is paying the UCI to host these events.
Yeah.
As positive marketing for this platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why, and we can or can't talk about this, but which is why other platforms that offer equally, if maybe not better, racing dynamics
can't pay the bill.
Haven't been able to enter space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't pay the bill. And Zwift is probably happy with that part of it, right? It's like, oh, we can just shell out cash and UCI will keep branding. And people get excited about it. And we can move off of this into more echelon-y stuff soon. And the only other note I had is, like, the Worlds is in February. Who are they going to get to do it that's exciting from the World Tour? Because February is already full on these days, right?
Jordan Shane.
I'm not in the World Tour. Nobody's paying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not Wout Van Aert. I'm not. Who did they have last time? They had Esteban Chavez. They had some of the biggest.
Hey, forget no for like okay, the guys' side. Fine. They had Ashley Moolman Pasio. They had Sarah Gigan. Like I was way more excited about the women's race.
Oh yeah. Well, it's always better if you.
They had.
Yeah, are they going to get them again? Like, is Ashley Moolman Pasio going to be racing?
She just raced. She just raced today.
She absolutely will now that she launched her new women's collective or what.
Yeah,
right. It looks like it looks really cool what she put together. I forget what it's called.
It's Roca something, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
she just raced today on Zwift. I saw.
She's full on invested in this space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good for her. Yeah.
No, that's. I mean, yeah. I think the women's race was cooler, and I mean, the guys' race was won by an Olympic silver medalist in rowing.
And we haven't heard from him since.
No, he goes on Zwift all the time, actually.
Yeah, but he hasn't been racing on Zwift. Like I kind of thought he would be like, that he would launch like Ashley would off of that. But it's been I haven't seen him around. But yeah, anyway, the worlds will be the worlds. It'll be interesting how it stacks up to last time because that was kind of the perfect storm. COVID season, winter, like everything was kind of lined up to get all the names and everybody there, and it worked well. So we'll see if this meets or surpasses that. But maybe
and great friendships were made from that, Jordan.
Exactly, Rick. I wouldn't trade it for the world, buddy. Wouldn't trade it for the world. But maybe let's talk. The next topic is maybe a more fair talent search. Is the combine that Project Echelon or Echelon Racing League had? I want to talk about this. This is interesting because I've never heard of anything like it. I heard some standout performances, but Eric, what was that all about? And how's it lead into the upcoming series?
So it's funny too because I didn't realize how much of a cultural thing the concept of a combine and a draft was for North America because of Major League Baseball and the NFL. I literally had people from other parts of the world sending me pictures of a farming combine. Wondering, they're like, "Can you please explain how this relates to the sport of cycling?"
Right.
It literally didn't make sense to them. And so I had to go back, create a video, send it out to people so that they understood what it meant. But we want to learn from other professional sports that are doing it well and that are creating a following and making data, statistics, like all of those things that like people wake up, make their cup of coffee and turn on ESPN for. We want to make that type of thing available to them in the virtual space. And so one of the easiest wins for us was the combine, knowing we have a number of riders who compete on a regular basis in the virtual space that don't have trade team, but are definitely good enough to be on. They just don't have the connections, right? And so one of our goals is accessibility and removing barriers to sport. And so we felt that the combine was a good way of doing that. Frank Cundiff came up with the concept. He said, hey, let's come up with two very different disciplines. The first discipline was a hill climb challenge, actually using the Take That Hill Barrett course. And so riders did 2 laps of that course. It wasn't a race. It wasn't who could complete the course the fastest. We just looked at point to point on the KOM. What was, your watts per kilogram, your heart rate, your cadence, all of those dynamics and statistics. But then again, on the second time up that climb, we looked at things like heart rate drift, power drift. So we wanted to see, how that changed over the course of 12-minute effort. And so we made all of that data public to our team directors so that they could analyze it, figure out, was this person a good fit for their team? Did it fill gaps that they maybe had in the roster? Likewise, about 30 minutes after the conclusion of the hill climb event, riders were able to then compete in the Canary Wharf criteria. They didn't have to compete in both events. Some people chose to. Some people chose to do one or the other. The Canary Wharf criterion definitely played more into the hands of sprinters and then people who just had tactical esports knowledge. And so, who is going to be competing at a high level, on the criterion courses, which make up about 70% of the Echelon Racing League events. And so do they know how the physics works? Do they know how positioning works? Can they time a sprint? And then do they have the raw 10 seconds to be able to win that? So anybody that competed in that became draft eligible. We, again, like I said, made all of that data public to our race promoters. They all had 3 days to analyze it, to reach out and contact runners that were of interest to them. We came up with a randomly selected draft order. And then team directors had 12 hours to make a selection. So the first team on the clock was X Speed United. They knew who they wanted right away. So the director made the called the rider. They submitted a Google form. It sent out a certificate of authentication to all of the team directors. And as soon as that certificate landed, 2000 was on the clock. They had 12 hours. They don't have to take the 12 hours. You have 12 hours from the second your clock starts to make your selection. So if you got notification at 8 a.m., you had until 8 p.m. But let's say I selected at 8:05. Well, now the next team is on the clock already, and they only have until 8:05 p.m. And so far at this point, there are just under 50 riders that have been selected, men and women, to be a part of those trade teams. And there was benefit to participating as well. We have a limit of 12 riders on a roster for the Echelon Racing League, and there is a transition time in January where they can change their roster if they want to, but it's still limited to 12. Teams that chose to participate in the draft were able to expand their roster to 14. So they don't have to race their riders as much. They maybe have a little bit more dynamic rosters. So there was definitely a benefit to participating.
That's awesome.
That's such a cool thing, and like it creates a buzz, and it's new. And Rick and I just always talk about how Zwift could do so many different things because it's limitless. And I think all we need for the draft and the combine, though, is like a video feed of the selected rider putting on the hat and kissing their mom.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, that's pretty cool. And what an opportunity. I mean, it took me like a year to get into Premier League when I decided to do it because like there's no such thing as a combine for Zwift. And what a cool way to just like pop in there based on your talent. That's sweet.
Yeah, so, and I mean our hope is that, you know, obviously people want to participate when they know there's a chance, when they know there's opportunity, right? Which is why a ton of people that in the way back of their mind, they know they have zero chance of qualifying for Worlds for Zwift. They're still going to log in and try, right? And that's how you build engagement. That's how you build community, and that's how you get people to come to our community. So people that don't qualify, you know, keep coming back and race this weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Should we want to talk more Echelon Racing League? Should we wrap up the ZRL real quick, Rick, and talk playoff?
Yeah.
Go for it. Okay, we'll get through it. It was actually a pretty good finish to the ZRL. The McCurry Islands course to finish with the gravel climb was like, that was the best for Zwift racing. I think a lot of people are saying on the video feeds that's the best they've seen because bike choice actually mattered. A lot of people were choosing the gravel bike. Some people tried the mountain bike switcheroo. I don't think that worked, at least at the top level. But at least there was some dynamic there and some strategy. And even in the, I have a lot of buddies, including Karsten and the Best Fiends team that did the community league. And yeah, there's just a lot of buzz around it. That was a cool way to finish up. Premier League finished some new winner on the men's side anyway. Next, which we have a team member on, by the way. Next, presented by Insured, absolutely dominated, and they came almost from nowhere, right? It was the Saris and Canyon show before.
So they kind of did, but they also knew, because I was texting with
flashes, right? They had some flashes in the last time.
Well, because it's not Next. It's Next presented by Insured. Because I was talking to the Get Zwifty guy who's on Next, and he was telling me, he's like, dude, we got big news. This is before they did it. He's like, huge news coming up. It's going to change everything. And then it happened. He's like, he was like, we got a chance now. We're going to threaten them.
Great. Yeah. That's what we need, because it was getting real boring up there. So they won at a trot, really. I don't think they even needed to win the last race, and they didn't, but they always had 4 guys in the top 10, kind of Heino style. And Heino did win the women's, although it was a much closer contest than in seasons past. So that was good to see. That gravel race with the women's race is always better than the men's. And Christine Kluczynski and I think Chanel, the last name of the other rider, they were off the front a minute ahead of the pack the whole time, which never happens. Oh, yeah. Kluczynski ended up dropping the bomb and winning.
She's good.
Oh, she's good, and she was savvy too. It was like, if you extend the gap on this dirt climb, it's really kind of hard to get back, and she took advantage of that and won the thing solo, which is cool to see. So yeah, interesting finish up to things. We have the playoffs coming up for the community teams. That'll be fun.
Started today.
Yeah, right. They had the TTT today, and then the mountaintop finish on the weekend. But the one thing that I think you would like, Rick, is that they get the world champion helmets now. So the winning community teams
for their indoor ride.
Yeah. Well, no, for their outfit. It would be cool if they got it and they had to wear it in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking.
You'd have a built-in microphone for Discord.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice, like a little.
Yeah, like a Tron helmet. Yeah, well, Rick and I were always complaining, like, what's the point of ZRL? There's just a rotating, pat on the back, you won, but now they get a helmet, which is pretty cool. Like, I would race hard for the helmet. Nobody else in the game's going to have it. That's cool. It's not an NFT, but, we can't all be that cool. So, yeah, that's the Zwift season.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
Yeah, and we will now. So ZRL's done until the new year. Thank God. Like, everybody needs a break. And
is it done for that long? Okay.
Yeah, and some good progression, I think. Like, we complained a lot about how stale it was getting. There's some good between the courses and some of the changes. It was good.
Yeah. Shout out to my draft guys. 5th today in the BTTT. A great ride.
In the running for their helmets. They're still in there.
And they won the America's East, and I was on the roster, so I'm going to get a helmet even though I didn't race once. So that's how you do it. I keep telling you, like, I'm just like a wheel sucker. Like, I am for real in basically every aspect of Zwift. I just sucked their wheels. Like, I occasionally DS'd for them, and now I'm going to get a helmet and pretend like I won it. So that's how I do it.
Okay.
I'm a stand-up guy.
Image is everything.
I'm a stand-up guy. And I know some of them are literally listening right now. And they're probably commenting in our Discord, calling me an ass.
Just like, oh, we did it again. Why do we have
just around? Just buy him a beer if you ever meet him in person.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
The IRL meetup. No, it was. No, seriously, it was a good. America's East was good this year. A lot of really good teams, a lot of really strong riders. It was. I mean, I actually sent an email to the WTRL guys just thanking them. Because like they're like
they work hard. They really do.
And like they're like the Echelon equivalent in Zwift, right? Like you have to have someone out there leading this.
Oh yeah. And they take it by the scruff of the neck, right? If this was run by Zwift, it would be hilariously bad. Like you know how bad it would be if this was just a Zwift product. They've innovated the whole time, and maybe it's been slower than we'd like at certain points, but geez, it's coming along.
I know it's Stephen Martin over there at WTRL. I'm guessing they have other people helping out now too. Shout out to Stephen Martin. I mean, just amazing job. And like I was even thinking about AutoCAT the other day. Everybody was complaining about AutoCAT. It worked pretty damn well. Like, okay, yeah, there's always going to be people losing, and there's always going to be people winning because that's the way a race works, unless it's just one person. But like, it worked pretty well for the first time doing that's a big deal.
AutoCAD is the only reason that this Zwift qualifier thing is going to work, because otherwise everybody could just be an A, right? But AutoCAD is the only way to sort of herd people correctly into it. So it's getting there. It's an innovation as well. So
yeah. I wanted to make sure I said it because it's It's a hell of a lot of work they're doing, and really it comes off without a hitch. I mean, yeah, there's going to be some little things, but like, man.
Yeah, people are watching and it's good. Yeah, well, but speaking of innovations, Echelon Racing League, full of them.
Let's talk about it. Let's get to the reason we're here.
Eric, you got questions. Eric's got answers. Let's go.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I actually do have questions. I have some. I'm going to start off with Echelon questions. I am racing this weekend, pending children's soccer games. To be clear,
damn kids.
I know. I mean, what can you do? I was going to joke and say I tried to put them up for adoption, but I don't want to go. I don't want them to look at this. I didn't actually do that. No, they're just watching a movie. They're great kids. They're wonderful. They're wonderful little kids. Occasionally, one of them visits us while we're doing the show. Yep. At least they haven't come in full naked. So yeah, okay. We have Indie Crit and then Toad, Tour of America's Dairyland, which I kind of want to do in real life too. Were I to take my bike off the trainer.
It's like 60 miles away from you.
Yeah, well, like the one in Beloit is like 30 minutes away. It's not even like it's so close. That being said, like
you'll have friends there. Come on.
I don't know if my bike fits a rear wheel anymore. So, anyways, how do I know what these courses are, Eric?
Yeah. So there's a couple of different ways. One would be for you to go and just go into the RGT app with the link that was sent to you when you registered today.
Yeah.
And you can look at the course profile and you can look at the course dynamic there. You'll also see a Magic Road ID, which would allow you to pre-ride that course. So you can upload it to your RGT platform and you can ride it as a training. So that, we actually did that a couple of times last year after we got really familiar with RGT for races that we couldn't get to ahead of time to pre-ride as a team. We loaded it to RGT, jumped on the virtual platform and did some course scouting for in real life races virtually. But you could do the same thing. You could either, like I said, use the Magic Road ID that's there, or you could go ahead and create your own using a Strava file or a GPS file.
Can I do that on a free subscription, or do I have to have the paid RGT to do a Magic Roads?
To make your own, you'd have to have the paid. To use one that has been created, you can do it on the. Otherwise, you can always just go to these places' websites and check them out, right? Like that's the cool thing about the Echelon Racing. Our vision is to help support in real life races and get people like you, Rick, out to those races.
Let's not get crazy, but yeah.
But by participating and building awareness for them. So Indie Crit, Tour of America's Dairyland, two extremely prominent Midwest races that have, some really illustrious history. And I think going and checking out their website and seeing what these events are all about and the culture that's.
That's a cool thing. Getting someone like Rick, who would previously had a 0% chance of going to these events, to, I don't know, maybe there's a 50% chance you race, but I really hope you come out and see it after racing. Like, it'd be pretty cool to see how it compares. And like Eric
I was thinking about going to see some races this year, but nobody I knew came out to race near me, Jordan, who said they were gonna.
I'm not allowed to just go race whatever races I want, and the intelligentsia is great.
Well, I'm gonna have a word with your new team owner about it. Okay.
We have a real problem in 2021 with going to races as a team. So period. So it wasn't an offense.
I know.
To you.
I'm just messing with you. Yeah.
No, that for sure. We want to meet up in real life, but that's like a central part of this whole thing. And like Eric and we're on a team call. The digital tourism part of this is actually really cool, right?
Say that again. The digital what?
So virtual tourism is a space that we're getting in. Tour of the Gila, we helped secure $80,000 sponsorship through their state tourism department for their event because of the viewership and the attention that we were able to bring them through the race. We know we brought several sponsors for other races, including IndyCar, including Toad. I actually just connected from Sterling with Milwaukee Esports Alliance today. Sponsorship is because of the Echelon Racing. So some really cool things happening because all of the growth that we're seeing in tech in general, but the fact that there's tangible things that they can connect themselves to with these in real life.
Yeah, and we're talking about you going there, Rick, which we wouldn't have been talking about. And like to get people to get growth in these events, like you haven't been in the world, Rick, but it's like blood from a stone in the last decade, right? To get growth in these real life American racing events, especially the stage races like Gila. And like there's actually like, you know, we can see it in action here. The wheels are turning. Like it's actually a thing. Like, you know, people race this on RGT. And then maybe they want to race the real thing, like I would. The heel is such a cool thing, you know.
Yeah, it happened last year. There was a number of people that actually, above and beyond cancer, for the first time ever, brought a full squad to Tour of America's Dairyland because Matt Usborne won it in the Echelon Racing League. So he's like, I'm going to go. We're going to try and do it, you know, in real life, and they brought a full team. That's never happened, and they're 6 hours away. So it was really cool to see that connection.
Yeah, that's really actually. I said that nobody I knew rode in those races. Like Timmy Bauer did. I should have gone to see him for sure. I was planning on. I think I got sick or something.
Who doesn't like Timmy, Rick?
He's like the nicest guy. He's like the actual nicest guy
in the world. He is. Yep.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. And yeah, I mean, if I am going to do a road race, first I should probably do a group ride with real humans. That seems like it would be advised.
For the sake of all of our safety.
Yeah, because I'm one of those people who has decent power in here, so I could keep up and crash the hell out of everybody.
Then you try to ride right through somebody's butt, like you said earlier.
I mean, I feel like that should work outside too. I mean, like if I want to sprint, I just sprint, right? I don't have to look.
Yep.
I just put my head down.
Right.
Rick, if you want to come down to Tucson and ride with some people, all of this could be yours.
So funny enough, Jordan, you better be careful. Yeah. I was literally talking about going down to ride with you over the weekend with my in-laws because we're taking a Southwest trip, so we might go to Tucson, and then you're gonna have to ride with me. I'm gonna crash you out so bad. I'm sorry in advance.
Sounds like a lot of bike trails in your future there, Jordan.
Hey, there's 120 miles of bike path around Tucson, so that's as low risk as it gets.
We'll have to do something where we get someone to video us sprinting against each other, Jordan.
Okay, that'll be where I get embarrassed, and then we'll go to.
Then we can ride up Mount Lemon. Then we can ride up Mount Lemon. After 5 minutes, you'll be 4.5 minutes in front of me.
Perfect. Ideal. Yeah.
Let's get back to Echelon. So Eric, I appreciate the how polite you were with that answer. I thought for sure you were going to say you could just do the basic amount of work to look at the courses, Rick. But, no, so that's good because like I'm trying to figure out RGT. Like I don't like with Zwift, you just like Google it, you know?
Yeah, no, right. I mean, RGT is, I think they have some amazing things going on. They are innovating extremely quickly. I want to share some of those innovations with you later. But, I mean, they are where Zwift was as far as community knowledge 5 years ago, right? Like, I can remember, like, being one of the Zwift pilot rider, like, user. And, like, I mean, literally it was just like, click a button, see what happens, kind of thing. And it's like switching from a Windows to a Mac, right? Like they're both awesome machines. They both do equally great things. People might have preference over one or the other, but if you know how to use them, like they're pretty powerful and they, like I said, a lot. So it's going to take a while to change, I think, especially with RGT just launching their single app update. So now it's just one app. You don't need to have two devices. It's much more accessible. It's much more user friendly. And I think it's really easy.
It seems like with the events, on RGT. There's much more of a come and play attitude than there is on Zwift. Like Zwift is a pretty serious crowd in the racing end of things. As soon as you get over those like first hurdles, it's like, yeah, this is full on. And like people can come try RGT and just like, you know, real course is fun, like lots of things to try out. And yeah, that'll include me, by the way. I got to get on and actually race. I've just ridden around a bit.
Are you racing Echelon in the Pro Series, Jordan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Why do you think I recruited him?
Yeah, that right. I have such impressive e-racing Palmares.
Jordan's a natural sprinter, so he's going to love the crits, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Hey, these crits involve the strategy and the, like, I feel like I'll do better. And I like a crit, actually. I just am not going to be the guy to sprint from the line. But.
Okay, Jordan, we need to innovate on this show. We are both going to be learning RGT in real time as fairly experienced Zwift racers.
Yeah.
But like we need to do our RGT segment. This is where we really need Jackie to come on and just mercilessly make fun of us. Because she's just good at everything in life.
She's got them both mastered. Absolutely, she does.
Well, and she's also a doctor, so like it's really comparing her brain to ours is not fair.
Yeah, so like I always view people as like, you know, in old video games it was like 0 to 99. Well, it's probably still like that in video games if you have time to play them, right? Like, and I always thought like, oh, it would be like those video games where if you bump somebody up to 99, one of them would go down. Jackie's just all at 99s, and it kind of bothers me. Like there has to be something she's really bad at, and we need to find out.
We have to, yes.
So she has got to be a 0 and something to have so many 99s. Got to be.
Right. I have just
by the way, she did send us a video saying hi after she won her last Premier League race. But we haven't been on the air, and then I forgot to load it because I am definitely not all 99s. I'm like a bunch of 50s. Yeah, so Jackie says hi. She says she misses everyone. Also, her email did look like a spam email. It had no text and just a video, but I clicked on it anyways. Because, again, I'm a 50.
Your middle name is...
You're like, oh, I'll click on this.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be doing at least like I said like 5 or 6 of these things. Not the first weekend because I'm visiting family, but after that, I'm interested.
Yeah. I think the first weekend is crits. They're going to be about 50 to 55 minutes long. Intentionally, we know a lot of people, right? So one of our goals as well is to create space for road racers to be able to compete at a high level in esports in a way that actually makes sense for them in their training in the race calendar. The Premier League, you know, there's no way I would have been able to transition to that at the end of the road season and then still recover.
Yep, that's 100% right. Mondays suck, weekends are better, short races, easy of entry.
And yeah, so that's one of our goals with like how the calendar is set up, the frequency in which we race, time of day. We try to put it like close to where group rides would typically take place because people have that time blocked out already. And then we have this build up like from criteriums to a 1-day road race to a 3-day stage race, followed by, you know, criteriums again, but going back into a stage race. So I mean, it builds up as we would see a legitimate training plan.
That's what I was going to say. As a coach, I really want my athletes to do RGT and not Zwift racing because coaching for Zwift racing pretty much impossible. It's just like every week, all the time, and it's like, what do you do for training? But this stuff you can actually circle on a calendar, build up to it, get excited about it. It's cool.
Well, and Jordan, if your athletes are going to these events, I mean, it's a scouting opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. It's an opportunity for them to compare themselves against something. The Joe Martin stage race, right? We do the Devil's Den time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was from when I did it in real life to last year when we did it in the virtual space. It was a 12-second.
Wow.
I was 12 seconds faster on the road than I was virtually, but that's also a 4-month difference in training as well. So, I mean, there's a lot to be learned if you're intentional about
Yeah.
So I do have a couple questions now. Is there an individual time trial in this?
There are two. Yes.
We're gonna have to talk offline about that, Eric.
Have you ever done an individual time trial, Rick? Like in Zwift, even?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that go? How'd that feel?
We don't need to talk a lot about it. My best thing at virtual racing is drafting.
Yeah. All right.
In the community league, let me clarify. There's not an individual time.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go.
The community league racers only race the queen stage of an event.
Oh, really?
That's a stage race event.
Well, yeah, we don't get all three. We don't get the 3 stages though.
We only broadcast score the queen stage. We put all 3 races out there, but we only score and broadcast the queen stage.
Okay.
Maybe you can stream the other events, Rick. And
no, I should. I mean, I have. Yeah, I should stream the other events like Rick tries RGT. No,
stream your glory in the events.
By the way, I saw you put a Zoom link in the thing, in the emails I get from you about this. Everybody gets them. I'm pretending like it's just me. Like, that's super cool. I really like that you guys are doing that.
Yeah. So one of the things, we want community riders to have the pro experience. So we're doing live Zoom cams. When you register, we actually just decided this earlier today, but we're going to start having our announcers do pre-production work. And so when you register through Bike Reg, there's going to be some data fields for all future races that ask you, what are your favorite hobbies? What's your line of work? So that we can actually talk about you as a person, not just as an avatar. Because that's what's exciting. And people, if they're going to tune in, they're tuning in for human stories and trying to learn about these events and doing them and why they're doing them. We want to.
Yeah, shameless plug for the match races that we put on last year. We did some of that, and it was incredibly well received. So it's awesome. It's awesome you're doing that.
Yeah, you can watch Average Joe's, and if there's a story with it, it makes it very compelling. All of a sudden,
were you making a dodgeball reference?
There's actually a TV show called Average Joe's, and people do watch it. It's on Fox.
Yeah. There we go.
There you go.
No, I'm really excited. I'm very 10 out of 10 excited to try Echelon and win the B group. I'm going to win the B group because I want that NFT that you're offering, because I am a crypto NFT person. I am very, very excited about the NFT. This is I wanted to talk about this on the last show, and Jordan told me I couldn't because he's like, I don't know if it's public. I was like, I got an email about it. I don't really care. I want to talk about it, and he wouldn't let me.
You're the guy, the architect of the Matrix, to talk about it with you. So how good is that?
And that's really good. I get this is better. You were correct, Jordan, but also I want to talk about it.
Well, let's talk about it.
Tell us about the prizes.
I'll push back from the table, and you guys can go ahead.
Yeah, so we're innovating in the virtual space, and prize money is cool. We continue to offer $10,000 pro league. And I think that's an innovation in itself, because I don't believe that's being done yet. Other innovations that we're continuing to want to try and work on is to open up betting, and see what's possible there, because we know there's so much data available that betting is very viable because of it. But we're not there yet. So we're like, well, what can we do in time? And offering things like NFT prizes is an excellent way for us to, I guess, truly adopt sports culture, innovate in the space, and give some really cool and unique prizes away. And those don't really have a set value, right? Like we can offer these NFT prizes. $10,000 could be chump change to people that receive them based on what they're valued at, what people purchase. We were talking earlier, Wout Werner just sold an NFT for $50,000. Granted, it was of Wout Van Aert, but if they're able to sell these unique NFTs because they are unique, I guess, first to market in this esports space for $10,000. That's a lot of money. That's more money than you can win in most North America on the road. So it's exciting. It's something people can have forever, and it's something that's completely unique and innovative.
Dude, I am very excited because I'm an NFT person. I have like $1,000 cat pictures, but like, yeah. So everybody get a MetaMask, download MetaMask, so that they can get it to your wallet. Any of the B racers don't need to because I'm gonna win that thing. Like I'm tuned in on this now. It's a one of one piece of artwork. Am I correct?
Correct.
And so you talk about Wout Van Aert's thing. Let's say, I mean, I don't know all the names participating here, but like, let's say there's a 19-year-old, 18-year-old kid who wins the Echelon Racing League. They get that one-on-one jersey. They sell it. They go on to win the Tour de France someday. You can trace it back to that person, and you can say, I have Susie's NFT jersey that she won in Echelon. Now she's a 7-time Tour de France champion. 6-time. Let's not get caught with that. Like that's a thing. That's a thing that happens in the NFT space. Like, I don't know. Jimmy Fallon owned this NFT. Now I own it. It's worth more because Jimmy Fallon owned it. That happens with NBA players all the time.
Right. So, I mean, and it's possible. I mean, we're going to have USA Cycling national members, Canadian Cycling national members, German Federation national members, and a UK national team participating throughout the course of the league as well. And so there very well could be some up and talent that wins that award, and or something.
Could be a cool thing for sponsors too. Like I know when Jelly Belly won the Tour of Utah, those yellow jerseys were like gold to the sponsors, right? Because they're Tour of Utah yellow jerseys. You can't get them anywhere else. Lachlan signed them. We all signed them. They're worth a lot. So maybe this is something you can provide to sponsors as a value too, to show off in the digital space. I'm talking out my butt because I don't know what NFTs are really. But
no, you're 100% right. I mean, Mercedes released an NFT of their new car model before the car model itself was. That thing sold for hundreds of thousands. So for maybe Argon 18 to come in and have the opportunity to do that, or Tissot Watch to come in and have the opportunity. Right. For them to provide an NFT like that as a reward could bring a lot of value to it.
Yeah.
It's starting to seem cool to me now. I'm starting to come around. If I could get like a digital or an NFT Omega watch or something as a prize, I would be into that.
Dude, that NFTs they're a big thing. They're only going to get bigger. There's pay to play gaming. There's all like, and I've told both of you about, like, I really hope NFT jerseys, bike paint, all that stuff is a thing in this space. Like I really want to push it myself. Like that's the thing with all this, because you start thinking about all that this could be. And like, you want to start a charity, right? You sell 10,000 bike jerseys. And the cool thing about NFTs is you can limit them. You can have 3,000. You can have one, I mean, think about if you had a bunch of one-on-one Michael Van der Poel jerseys that he signed. They, digitally signed them. Like you see his signature on the digital jersey. But each one's a one-on-one. Like those things would go for a lot of money, just like Wout Van Aert stuff. Like there's so much that can be done in this space. Like we are so early. They always say that in the NFT space, like, oh, we're so early. We're so, like, in this virtual cycling thing, we are so early. Like virtual cycling is going to be, I truly believe this, is going to be people's like initiation into cycling for, kids my age. You have young kids too, right, Eric?
Yeah, 5 and 7, and they ride with me on a regular basis.
Yeah, that exactly. Like my son wants to do Zwift. Like that's what he wants to do because he sees me riding Zwift all the time. He's gonna want to see me do an RGT. I always make the jokes like I'll be racing and he's like, "Dad, are you winning?" I'm like, "No, I'm in 20th," and he's like, "Oh," and just like walks out. He's like very disappointed. I'm like, "Dude, give me a little credit." But this is what kids are seeing because the majority of the people who are super into virtual cycling are people who like are not professional road racers like you two guys, right? You know, they're just people like me, just normal people. But normal people are kids become professional racers. You know, well, your guys' kids probably have a leg up, being that you're that good. But you know, it's like it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Like that Back to the Future quote. You guys aren't ready for this yet, but your kids are gonna love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be huge. I really like it. It makes bike racing so much more accessible. Because the reality why I don't ride on the roads is like, I don't want to get hit by a car. Like I don't race because like I can't have a broken collarbone. I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? Like if I break my collarbone, like
Michelle's gonna be angry.
Michelle's gonna be very angry because like I'm gonna be like, I can't take out the garbage. I can't, you know, move these trees around.
Not giving a bath.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, that's a lot of it. And I mean, to do a 2-hour race in my virtually takes 2 hours and 15 minutes, right? To do a 2-hour race, I mean, it takes me 2 hours to get to a race.
It's all day.
Yeah.
There you go. Exciting times ahead. Jordan and Rick take on RGT 2022.
It's going to be awesome. I am so like really, I cannot say thank you enough for putting on Echelon. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, no, we would love to see more people continue to sign up. I mean, registration numbers are already, double what we were seeing last year at this time. So we're really excited about that. We know they'll decline throughout the course of this week and the course of the season, especially as broadcasts start to get pushed. I probably didn't share this last time we were on the show, but we have an esports linear channel that.
Oh, you just froze up right when you were saying something about the linear channel, Eric. All right, we're going to have to take this for a second until Eric comes back online, Jordan. But, okay, so I was about to put Eric on the spot, too, because I want 3 tips, RGT tips. A guy on YouTube, Brian, he was like, practice the downhills and corners in RGT. I've practiced the corners. I don't know what, I don't know what he, so Eric just dropped. Hold on, let me switch to our 2-person view. Oh, he's coming back.
I think.
You back?
I think I lost you.
Yeah. So you were saying something about
linear
channel. Thank you. Can you hear?
Gotcha. No.
Oh, it's we're touch and go here.
We'll have to break on for a third day appearance to get. I mean, we got to check back in as this thing gets rolling, but yeah, I've read the same. You got the zero power, like where your power isn't going to count. That's the key to RGT racing, right? And Jack, you told us a bit about that. And that's road racing too, by the way. So, you know, that's what makes you a decent actual racer and not just a wattage cottage, is being able to apply the power properly. So,
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, practicing the downhills is something that is a bit foreign to me. Eric, are you back?
I think I'm back.
Okay. Yeah, so...
all right.
Yeah, Are we ready to talk about linear video? That seems to freeze it up whenever time we say that. So,
can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
We can't see you, but that's okay. Go ahead and tell us about the.
No, so we partnered with the linear esports distribution channel last year called Esports TV. You can anybody could download it on Samsung, Roku, Apple TV, or watch it online. But between them and what we did on Facebook last year, we had over 2.2 million unique viewers of our content. And so, I mean, like I said, like we're here to tell like unique stories, and help grow the sport in the way that you were talking about. And there just happens to be some really excellent bike racing on some really cool courses, from North America that are being featured as a part of that storytelling. So, I mean, I'm excited that you're excited about it. I know that it's going to continue to grow throughout the of the season. We've got some other knowledge bombs that I can drop on you guys if you're ready for it. But some really exciting announcements
today. Today you're going to do it.
I'll do it right now if you'd like me to.
Well, I'm gonna set up a little bit here.
A high note. Yeah, take us to the end of the show on a high note here. Leave us wanting some more.
All right. So, Echelon Racing League will, have individuals selected for the United States top performers to compete in the Zwift World Championships. So, based on performance from the Echelon Racing League, USA Cycling will be selecting top U.S. registered riders to compete in the Zwift World Championships. 2, we will be the official promoters on RGT through Echelon Racing Promotions of both the U.S. Esports National Championships and the Canadian Esports National Championships. More information on that to come. And
That's
then
huge, man.
We also have the Paracycling League going on. And so we have created virtual paracycling avatars for hand cyclists. We have a tricycle that's going into the game. And we have a tandem that's going in as well for a Stoker bike for the blind. So we will be the most accessible and equitable virtual racing league and platform in the space as well. So some really, I think, exciting things that, again, just trying to make this accessible and remove as many barriers as possible for people to get into it.
Dude, that's big. Jordan, you better get rocking and rolling here if you're going to win a national. Can I say national title, Jordan or Eric? Is that?
Yeah,
you can say
just making sure.
You can say a national title because it's owned by and promoted by the national governing body.
Yeah. Jordan Shane, Canadian national champion. You heard it here first. He said it.
No pressure at all. But no, it'll be good. That's cool stuff. Even the Paris stuff is. I didn't even think about that before we talked about it a little bit. That's very cool. And it's all cool. So if you're not going to ride it this weekend, at least watch it and see how good it is. But really, check it out, ride it. And we got a lot of events coming up. Rick and I will be there. So if you want to see us, not in person, but in person, this is the place to do it.
In the general text channel for No Breakaways, can I drop a link to this week's broadcast?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And yeah, we'll drop we'll put a link in the show notes too. Eric, send it to me, and then we'll get it out there for sure, and I'll post it on Instagram too.
Stellar.
Yeah, just tag me in it or tag No Breakaways, and I'll see if old man Rick can figure out how to do this correctly, or I'll text you and be like, Eric, what am I doing? No, that's super cool, and I love the paracycling and the tandem. Like that's really, it's that inclusion is just really cool.
They deserve to be able to see themselves in the sport.
Yeah.
Right. There's no reason they can't right now. It's literally the easiest place in the world to make the sport accessible to them. Why hasn't it been done? So we've worked with the Paralyzed Veterans of America, which is a veterans nonprofit organization, and received federal funding from the Department of Veteran Affairs in order to be able to make that possible.
Yeah. Can't argue with.
No, and so we should probably start wrapping it up. We're over an hour. We could talk for 7 hours. But Eric, thank you for everything that you're doing to advance virtual racing. I mean, a lot of great comments here in the live chat. But just it's awesome. People like you are what's really pushing this space forward, and we appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being willing to have me on the show and share about it, and for participating this weekend. I hope you have a blast, and I'm excited to learn about your experience and hopefully learn some things from your insights as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to win that Cat B, get that NFT. I'm putting it out there right now. Very arrogant. I'm sure I will not actually win the Cat B, but I want the NFT.
Do it.
But no, it's really exciting stuff. So yeah, thanks a lot. So Eric Hill, Echelon Racing League, Project Echelon Racing. Jordan Shane of also Project Echelon Racing. Congratulations on all that. Peakformcoaching.com. Jordan, is there anything else you wanna say?
That'll be it. You can catch me. I get not in the first race, but the second Echelon Racing series as well. So Looking forward to it. Thanks for coming on, Eric. Thanks for having a show, Rick. We got to do it more often, buddy.
I know. Let's try to do it at least. Let's try to do it at least every other week. But yeah, hopefully every week.
Well, next time then.
Well, we got to do it next week because I'm racing RGT, so I can come on and be like, looks like I'm not winning the B division. I'm gonna have to pay somebody for that NFT. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody. Yeah, and we'll talk.